impact-driven programs. You can find more information at ou.edu/innovation-hub. Now I want to start with a little story about 3 MIT roboticists at MIT. They co-founded a company called iRobot in 1990. By 1991, they developed a robot called Genghis, which was designed for space exploration. And in 1998, they won a contract with the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency to build a tactical mobile robot, leading to the development of iRobot PackBot. In 2001, the iRobot PackBot searched the World Trade Center after the 9/11 terrorist attacks. And by 2002, iRobot launched the vacuum Roomba that we all know. And they also partnered with the National Geographic Society to develop a robot that searched the Great Pyramids in Egypt. By 2020, iRobot celebrated their 30-year anniversary with more than 30 million home robots sold worldwide. And you're probably wondering why I bring up iRobot. Well, the funding that they were first awarded in the early years, 1991 through 1998, it was SBIR funding. And what is SBIR funding? Well, in 1982, the SBA saw a need to invest into US-owned small businesses who were actively conducting R&D for innovative new technologies. By 2021, there's over 450,000 participating scientists, researchers, innovators, and engineers that make up one of the largest STEM talent concentrations in the world, and invest $4 billion every year into research-intensive U.S. small businesses developing innovative new technologies. So SBIR, the Small Business Innovation and Research Program, if you think about it, it's sort of a tax on any federal agency that has a $100 million or greater annual budget, 2.9%, and that funding is specifically designated towards R&D. The Small Business Technology Transfer Program is a smaller sort of sister program of SBIR, and the goal of STTR is to encourage partnerships between small businesses and universities and research institutions. The funding is a little bit less, but it's still a great opportunity for that partnership and collaboration between universities and entrepreneurs. The program benefits include, well, it's unlimited, essentially. Like I said, $4 billion a year is available for anyone who is willing to put in a little bit of hard work, write a proposal, and solve a problem for the federal government. It's open to any small business with fewer than 500 employees, and it's to develop and launch innovative new products. It's non-dilutive, which is, it's basically free money. So the government won't take equity in your company, and it doesn't significantly impact IP. It also enables growth because there's profit that's built into the award, and there's no limit on awards. So you can essentially win over and over and over again. And there's plenty of examples throughout the country of companies that win tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars in SBIR funding. All right, so how it works. Basically, you would submit a proposal for a phase 1 contract, and that's from anywhere from 3 months to 6 months of work where you are demonstrating technical merit and commercial potential, furthering R&D, and the awards range from $50,000 to $250,000. The next phase, phase 2, is where you really mature your concept. It's full R&D effort, demonstrating performance in feasible environment, and the awards are anywhere from $750,000 to $1.5 million and up to 2 years of work. Phase 3 is where you're pursuing commercialization and selling your product on a mass market. There's no government funding in this phase, but by then, you've pretty much been able to de-risk your technology, de-risk your company. You look pretty attractive to private investors, and this is where you get that early seed funding, and so on. All right, so the participating federal agencies are the Department of Defense, the Department of Health and Human Services, National Science Foundation, NASA, the Department of Energy, Department of Transportation, USDA, the Department of Homeland Security, also Environmental Protection Agency, Department of Education, NOAA, and National Institute of Science and Technology. All of these agencies have a annual budget of 100 million or greater. So you can imagine that the Department of Defense, which has, I think, a $700+ billion annual budget, has a pretty significant size SBIR budget. They all have their own program rules and regulations. No agency is alike when it comes to SBIR. The proposal submission process is different. The contract is different. The focus areas of technology and research are all different. We specialize in the ones that we feel are your best opportunity to win funding. And that brings me to the Department of Defense. As I said before, the DoD has $740 billion plus national defense budget every year. There are 3 million active service members and civilians, and even more veterans that still qualify, that still are part of the DoD. And there's around 4.8 thousand sites in over 160 countries worldwide. So you can imagine the broad spectrum of needs that the DoD has each year. Here are all the agencies within the DoD that participate in the SBIR program. Of course, you have the Department of Army, Air Force, and Navy, and with now we have the new Space Force, also the National Guard, DARPA, MDA, DLA. All of these are agencies that participate, or departments that participate in SBIR funding, and you are able to win an award with them to further your R&D efforts and also fulfill their needs, their mission needs. So with the DoD, it's basically like a giant corporation. They have healthcare needs, training needs, environmental considerations. So any sort of technology, innovation that falls into any of these categories and more would be a good fit for the DoD. But are you a good fit? So we have sort of this scale. We base the participants in our programs on technology, team, transition, and trust. And as you can see, that bottom level, sort of if your technology is just a very small improvement on existing technology, that's not such a great fit. They're looking for something that's more of a major advancement or an entirely new technology. Also with your team. It's okay to be just a founder, a team of one for your company, but as far as an SBIR contract, they want to see that you have a well-rounded team, not just the researcher and innovator, but also the business person that's going to be able to commercialize your technology. And that brings me to transition. If there's really not a strong business plan, or you don't have extensive commercialization experience with a new product, then that might affect your chances of winning. They look for companies that have established business with a clear path to commercialization. And if you're on that top row and you meet all the criteria of technology, team, transition, and trust, then you're a great fit for SBIR funding. And that's when you would go to our website, OKCatalyst.com, apply to one of our programs that help you navigate the process of SBIR, submitting a proposal, winning the funding, and then, of course, being under contract with the federal government, and also business assistance and mentorship for awardees. Okay, I flew through that. This is my last slide. So we are the state designated experts for SBIR. Our support and outreach organization. Tom Wavering is our executive director, and he brings 20 plus years of experience winning funding. Like I said, I serve as the director. We also have a program manager who serves the Tulsa area and a program manager serving the Oklahoma City area. And Casey Farmer, sorry, Casey, for the A in your name, is our Marcom manager. And you can also reach her on our website if you have any requests for information related to marketing and outreach. That concludes my presentation. Darren, I think we could open it up for questions if there are any, or if not, I can have these slides available.
Definitely. Don't see any questions so far. Again, if you guys have any questions, be sure to put those in the chat and we'll address those real quickly. That was a great presentation. It's quick, gets straight to the point, which is what we like a lot of. If you want in a copy of these slides, just let us know and we'll get these slides out to you as well. Still don't see any questions.
I think I could take a minute to expand on our program since I didn't really touch a lot on those. We have 3 main programs. Our roadmap program is open to any university, graduate student, postdoc faculty who are conducting research and are interested in commercializing their technology. Roadmap is a 3-day boot camp. We have one in the fall and one in the spring, and we hosted it at the 21C Museum Hotel in downtown Oklahoma City. And it is basically a crash course in tech commercialization. We bring in lots of industry experts who sort of give you that the overview of what it means to start a business, what it means to protect your IP, what it means to commercialize your technology. We teach a value proposition and the business model canvas. The applications for our fall program are currently closed, but if you're interested in joining our spring program, then please visit our website, okcatalyst.com/roadmap, and applications are always open and you can get on the list for our spring program. The other program we have is our SBIR accelerator. We have 3 designated DoD accelerators every year, and they're based off the DoD schedule of solicitation SBIR program. We are accepting applications for our next cohort that begins December 1st. So if you're interested in that, please visit our website, okcatalyst.com/accelerators, and you'll find all the information related to our DoD accelerator. Also, we have a NASA accelerator. NASA has 1 solicitation a year, and we're in the process right now of bringing a cohort through that program to submit to NASA after the new year. Other than that, if you feel like you have a good technology that's a good fit for any of the other agencies, NSF, DOE, then by all means, you can schedule a consultation with me through our website. We can have a chat about what you're working on in your team and your technology. And if you're a good fit, then you just fill out an application to one of our accelerators. And then Endeavor is a program that is for our awardees, and we help them through the process of the contract and, of course, preparing for their follow-on awards. It's a mentorship program. But I also wanted to highlight the programs at the iHub. Any veteran who is interested in starting a business, or maybe you already have, but you would like some sort of educational and training support, we have startup programs. We have an incubator and an accelerator, and you can find all of that information on the iHub website. We also have a really great fabrication lab where we have a ton of equipment and things that you can use to take your idea that's just kind of that you've just been toying around with, or maybe it's a napkin drawing. And we have 3D printers, laser cutters, and we have an entire woodworking shop. We're about to expand and get a couple of CNC machines. So we are open. The Fab Lab is open to the public Wednesdays and Thursdays, noon to 9. You can walk in. It's fully staffed with actually students from you that will help you on any one of the machines. We have computers with CAD software and lots of other software to develop digital drawings. And I think that covers, we have a prototyping manager who would help you kind of get that idea to prototype stage where you actually have a thing that you can create. I think that's all the programs we have here at the iHub, but I would definitely encourage any entrepreneur out there who's interested in learning more and sort of getting support. We are open and available here down at the Norman campus.
Okay, I was going to say, in case you could put the question out there too, where are you guys located and what areas do you serve? So
we want to serve all of the state of Oklahoma. So it doesn't matter where you are. You can access through our website. All of our programs are virtual. So if you are sort of farther away from Norman and it's not feasible to drive here, we do have virtual accelerators. All of our programs are hosted on an LMS, and we have Zoom meetings as part of those programs. So like I said before, we do have an office in Tulsa at the OU Tulsa campus. Maya Nakuka is our program manager there, and you can reach her if you're in the Tulsa area and you would like to speak to her about our programs. And also Oklahoma City, we do have offices down in Bricktown that we will be working out of. In the next couple of weeks, we'll start that. So if you're maybe north or northwest of the city and you want to just meet in Oklahoma City, that's always an option. And of course, here in Norman. So basically, we're open. We have free services, completely free to the entire state. Anybody's welcome to apply to any one of our programs. Anyone's welcome to visit our website and set up a consultation with myself, and I'll kind of walk you through more in depth on how the programs work and how that funding actually, how you get that funding and how you can use it. And it really, I should emphasize that it really is for businesses conducting R&D for innovative new technologies.
So Sarah, you mentioned the lab and iHub and all that there in Norman. How does that work? Do you charge the individuals if they have to be part of a certain program, or how do they get into utilizing? Because you mentioned CNCs, you mentioned the plotter printers. How do they utilize that?
Well, our open hours, community hours, I guess I should say, Wednesday and Thursday, noon to 9. You can just walk right in. All the services are free. We do have training videos on YouTube. So if you were to search YouTube, Tom Love Innovation Hub, all of the training videos to use those machines and the equipment are there, and you'll just watch those and take a little quiz at the end. The next step would just to visit during those open hours. If the woodworking shop has some equipment that might need sort of demonstration, to come in and show that you're proficient and safe using those machines. And once you show that to one of the staff, then you can come in and use it however you'd like, and everything is completely free. Our startup, incubator, and accelerator programs, completely free. And those aren't just for R&D and new technologies. Those are really for any entrepreneur who's passionate about owning a business and learning the ways of running the business and growing. So those are all free. Spots are limited with those, I should say, so they do have an application process. But everything here at the iHub's free and open to anyone.
That's awesome. That's a lot of good resources there. I mean, I can even think of things that I've done in my past lives that I could have definitely utilized an area like that to come in and do some work in. So that's awesome.
Yes.
For entrepreneurs to be able to use that too. So.
And if we can't help you here, we have a very vast network, I would say, with partners and other organizations in our ecosystem that if we can't help you specifically, then we could definitely point you in the right direction of somebody who can, so people that we know and work with quite frequently.
And you mentioned there's some mentorships that go on as well? Yes.
So, OKVetWorks specifically has a mentorship program for SBIR awarded companies. Our program within the iHub, we consider that a home really for entrepreneurs, and it's mentoring them through the process of having an idea and maybe that doesn't work. Maybe you've done a little bit of customer discovery and you have to sort of pivot your idea a little bit. Maybe you have to fail a couple of times to get to the idea that truly does work and you could sell on other market. Everything here that we do, we would consider mentoring in some way for entrepreneurs.
Awesome. Well, I still don't see any other questions out there, Sarah, so you must have done a really good job.
Yeah.
And again, it's one of those things, a lot of people come by and they watch these a little bit later, and if there's any questions that come up, still put those questions into the chat and we will get those answered as quickly as we can. When that happens too, I'll get with Sarah, or you can get with Sarah, either one, and we'll get those questions answered. Her contact information is also on the screen. Don't forget to write that down as well. sarah.hamby@ou.edu. Pretty simple to remember that. Otherwise, you can put those questions into the comments and we'll get those addressed publicly so everybody can have that answer, that same question you may have too. So, Sarah, thank you so much for being here today and talking to us about OKVetWorks and the SBIR program. I think there's a lot of resources out there for the veterans that they can take advantage of with these situations and these opportunities that you guys are providing for them. So, without any further ado, I think we're going to go ahead and end there. And again, I appreciate everybody's time today, and I hope you get a lot out of this. And don't forget to share it around and see us again next month. Thank you.
Thank you so much.